Poems from the Village Reading. In that year, ... is the title. In that year we had a great visitation of energy. Back in those days everything was simpler and more confused. One summer night, going to the pier, I ran into two young girls. The blonde was called Freedom, the dark one, Enterprise. We talked, and they told me this story. And the cool fluttering, ... is the title of the second poem. And the cool fluttering rotten wind, and a child's handprint on picture window, and the gun cocked held on the shoulder, and in the fire in the night, waiting in a darkened house for the cruel insane breed from town to arrive, and come poking through smoke, and the fuel in the ashes for milk, and the evil leer on their faces barking with triumph. Who will not stop them? The hollow tree, where we three slept and dreamed, and the movement of the whirling shadows and grass, tired rustles of leaves, an old man stirs the dancers with his old dance. Darkening, swift shadows lean on the meat of forest to allow breathing. Gently they stir, gently they rise. The dead are newborn, awakening with ravaged limbs and wet souls. Gently they sigh in rapt funeral amazement. Who called these dead to dance? Was it the young woman learning to play the ghost song on her baby grand? Was it the wilderness children? Was it the ghost god himself, stuttering, cheering, chatting blindly? I called you up to anoint the earth. I called you to announce sadness falling like burned skin. I called you to wish you well, to glory in self like a new monster. And now I call on you to pray. Lament for the death of my cock is the next one. Lament for my cock, sore and crucified. I seek to know you, acquiring soulful wisdom. You can open up walls, mystery, strip show. How to get death on the morning show. TB death, which the child absorbs. Death well mystery, which makes me write. Slow train. The death of my cock gives life. Guitar player, ancient wise satyr, sing your ode to my cock. Caress its lament, stiffen and guide us. Lost cells, the knowledge of cancer, to speak to the heart and give the great gift words, power, trance. This stable friend and the beast of his zoo, wild-haired chicks, each color connects, to create the boat which rocks the race. Could any hell be more horrible than now and real? I pressed her thigh and death smiled. Death, old friend, death and my cock are the world. I can forgive my injuries in the name of wisdom, luxury, romance. Sentence upon sentence, words are healing. Words got me the wound and will get me well. If you believe it, all join now in lament for the death of my cock. A tongue of knowledge in the feathered night. Boys get crazy in the head and suffer. I sacrifice my cock on the altar of silence. So that was the lament for the death of his cock. And now we have a wake. A wake. Shake dreams from your hair, my pretty child, my sweet one. Choose the day and the sign of your day, the first thing you see. A burnt tree, like a giant, primeval bird a leaf. Dry and bitter, crackling tales in its warm waves. Sidewalk gods will do for you, the forest of the neighborhood. The empty lost museum, and the mesa, and the Mount's pregnant monument above the newsstand where the children hide when school ends. Curses and Invocations is the next title. Weird bait-headed mongrels, I keep expecting one of you to rise. Large buxom obese queens, garden hogs and cunt veterans, quaint cabbage saints, shit hoarders, an individualist, drag-stripped officials, tight-lipped losers and lustful fuck salesmen, my militant dandies, all strange order of monsters, hot on the trail of Woodbine. We welcome you to our procession. The Crossroads. Meeting you at your parents' gates, we will tell you what to do, what you have to do to survive. Leave the rotten towns of your father, leave the poison wells and blood-stained streets. Enter now the sweet forest. I walked through ... is the next title. I walked through the Panther's living room, and our summer together ended too soon. Stronger than farther, strangled by night, rest in my sunburst, relax in her secret wilderness. This is the sea of doubt, which threads harps, unwithered and unstrung. It's the brother, not the past, who turns sunlight into glass. It's the valley, it's me, testimony from a strange witness. The flowering. The flowering of godlike people in the muted air would seem strange to an intruder of certain size. But this is all we have left to guide us now that he is gone. The wild whore laughs. The wild whore laughs like an ancient spinster. Crone, we see you. Come again? In the mind, I like the fever, dancing your nubile hush, willing to be possessed, untold stories dare in Jun's rise, trampled like redskin's sacred foreskin. Cancer began with the knife's cruel blow, and the damaged rod has risen again in the east like a star on fire.